So it's the end of the year right now, and most people are looking back on the year that was with a tinge of regret. Wishing that perhaps it had been a little bit better, or that they had worked a bit harder, or that they had got better results. Most people are looking back with a little bit of regret and looking forward with either a hope that somehow maybe it gets a bit better, or with a miracle expectation that somehow next year's all going to be different. So what you want to do with your clients is you want to book in a session where you do this skill. It's a 5-step system about forward-focused reflection, where we get them to look back on the year that was, but not in a way that is heavy, not in a way that is hard work, not in a way that is focused on the numbers, right? Not in a way that kind of makes them feel bad about the year that was, but in a way that helps them see what the progress they've made, feel the momentum that they're moving towards, realize that there's more to do, and recommit. Does that make sense? So we're going to use forward-focused reflection, and we do it with in one coaching session that you should do with your clients this week or next week, where we harness the 5 forces. What we're doing is we're getting people to feel 5 specific emotions. I'm going to walk you through them right now. 5 specific emotions that when your clients feel these in a particular order by asking a certain question, they will know that there's more to do and that they want to get it done next year with you. Okay, so what I'm going to do right now is grab my iPad. And I want to give you the 5 forces. These are the 5 questions you should be asking, or could ask if you choose to, but I'd recommend, I would say should. That's up to you. 5 questions you can ask in a forward-focused reflection session, which gets clients to recommit. And so it goes a little something like this. Okay, 5 questions and 5 different feelings we want our clients to feel. Okay, so here's the first feeling. The first feeling we want them to feel is pride and gratitude. In other words, to look back on the year that was as, wow, I made big progress. I'm really grateful for what's happened and feel good about having achieved some wins. And so the question that we're going to ask is this. It's, what are your top 3 for the year? So we're going to say, what are the top 3 wins, magic moments, and achievements for the year? And have them brainstorm. Dude, if you want to do more than 3, completely fine. But our job right now is just to have them look back on the year and find progress. Does that make sense? So they feel a sense of either pride, hey, look at what I did, or gratitude. Wow, aren't we lucky that happened? Isn't that amazing? Right? What a privilege. So the first feeling we want to do is pride and gratitude. The second emotion we want them to associate with the year that's just passed is growth. And growth is really simple. I like to reframe things sometimes. And so, in the year that's passed, sure, your clients have had some wins, but they've also had some tough times, right? Some hard things which didn't go so great. And so we want to reframe, instead of, wins and losses, we want to frame it as wins and lessons. So the question that we ask is, what are the biggest challenges that you grew through? What are the biggest challenges that you grew through, and what did you learn? And so once you've got their pride and their gratitude, we're going to be asking, what are the biggest challenges that you grew through, and what did you get them to lay them out, and then what did you learn from that that's made you a better person, better business owner, a better human? Why are we doing this? Well, because that reframes tough times into things that are now the raw material for the year that's coming. Cool? Okay, so our next force, these are the 5 forces. The next force is what I call incompletes. And the idea of having incompletes is that there are some open loops, some things that they really wanted to get done that they didn't finish, so that there's work still to be done. There's some things that we need to finish off next year. And so the question I ask is, what unfinished business do you have? And when we ask them about their unfinished business, we're looking for projects that didn't get done or didn't get done right, or things that we can kind of just push and get over the line, okay? They're almost like easy wins, or stuff that still matters that we just didn't finish off. And that just creates a need for next year. Follow me so far? So we've got incompletes. we've got pride, we've got growth. The next thing is this. The next force that I suggest you tap into, next emotion you tap into in your refocusing session is this. It's aspiration. An aspiration is kind of what are the things that they hope to achieve next year. And so the simple question is, what are your top 3 aspirations for next year? And if you can get clients really clear about not just the 3 best things that have happened in the last year and the tough stuff that they grew through that made them better, but also what unfinished business is there, and then fourth, what are their wishes for next year? What do they hope to have come true? We're starting to move people towards a real sense of brighter future, which is our goal here. Next up is drive. And this is the last because it's the one that has, I reckon, the most movement behind it, the one that gets people into action most quickly. So the others are like the foundation, and drive, I think, is the kicker. And the question that I love to ask is, how do you want your X to be different? And so what I suggest you do is you pick maybe 4 or 5 X's. So it could be your marketing, your sales, your revenue, your team, whatever the areas are that you help people with. Pick 5 of them and go, how do you want your X to be different? Awesome. Let me write that down. How do you want your X to be different? Okay, cool. How do you want your X to be different? And what you'll find is if you do these 5 forces, people look back on the year that's just happened with you, whether they completely smashed it or they did okay, or it's been really challenging. They'll look back on it as victory, as I've made progress and I've grown. There's still more to do. There's things I want to achieve next year, and I've got a real sense of I want this to change, and I want that to change, and I want that to change. When you do those 5 things, you've now created an obvious business case for working with you next year. And people are in the position now to recommit to themselves, recommit to their future, and by default, recommit with you. You haven't just focused on retention, but you've focused on recommitment. So I wanted to kind of let you into my private life just for a second. One of the things that I do at the end of every year is I go through the 5 forces myself. And I think about what are my top 3 for the year. And I just kind of capture magic moments. And often it's more than 3 because I'm capturing magic moments and wins every single day and every single week. Then what are the big challenges I grew through? And I just kind of reflect on that, some of the tough times that we went through as a family or me personally or as a business or whatever. And what did I learn from that? How does that make me better equipped for whatever next year has in store? What are the incompletes that are coming up? What are the aspirations? How do I want, if I can wave a realistic magic wand, how would I love next year to be? And then 5th, how do I want my X's to be different? I do that every single year, and it's just helped me take the best from the year, and instead of kind of I think Jim Rohn used to say, don't get through the year, get from the year.